Morning. We are Group 6 and here to present our work on international leadership. Our analysis will be on Jack Ma and Ratan Tata. We're a group of 7 and our details and parts are on this slide. International leadership. Our content page highlights the steps we took to achieve our work. Introduction. The goal of this study is to introduce you to 2 powerful leaders and link them to important leadership methods. We shall attempt to explain this leadership strategy in terms of style, influence, attributes, behavior, charismatic and transformational approach based on our findings.
Let's move to the next part, global international leaders. In this part, I will talk about Jack Ma's biography, the theory of the leadership, and the application of Jack Ma's leadership. Who is Jack Ma? He is currently a director of SoftBank, chairman of the Nature Conservancy China Council. He founded Alibaba, Taobao, and promoted the development of Chinese e-commerce. He uses Alipay to promote the development of paperless commerce in China. The Forbes Lifetime Achievement Award was presented to Jack Ma in 2019. Jack Ma is also the first internet industry leader to receive the award in 13 years. Jack Ma was born in Hangzhou, China on September 10, 1964. He graduated from college in 1988 and became a general English teacher. In 1999, Jack Ma decided to start a second business. He decided to get involved in the e-commerce, and then he founded Alibaba at his home in Hangzhou. In 2003, he turned attention to the online retail market. Taobao was born. In 2004, he founded Ant Group and launched Alipay Payment. It supported the development of new economic models and develops new ways to pay online. In 2012, he launched QR code payments, which played a key role in China's transition to a paperless economy. In 2020, Jack Ma ceased to serve as a director of Alibaba Group. His enthralling leadership traits, skills, and styles enable him to realize his dream. Thank you. And the next presenter is Ifoma.
Transformational leadership theory. This theory views leadership as how leaders motivate and influence their followers or employee behavior to ensure it aligns with the vision of the government of the organization. Transformational leadership has 4 components: idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. In the 4 components, the first one is individualized consideration, and it entails being people-driven. You need to show genuine concern for others and to nurture strategic relationships. Intellectual stimulation covers innovativeness, challenging others to be creative, and development of organizational capabilities. We move to inspirational motivation, which the leader inspires people and leverages on their emotional intelligence. And finally, idealized influence. Idealized influence, the leader is purpose-driven, should be a full-fledged role model where he walks the walk and not just talks, and leads through change. Individual consideration is another aspect of transformational leadership that Jack Ma represents. He did not dictate ideas and delegate execution to his employees. He led by articulating a clear vision and cultivating an environment in which seasoned staff were trusted to make decisions in their areas of responsibility. Jack Ma had a vision, but he knew that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't make every single person, investor or employee, listen and trust him. So he accepted this and adopted his approach to ensure his company's transformation. Jack Ma is regarded as revolutionary and transformative in his ability to move from socialism to Chinese hypercapitalism. He demonstrated unrivaled leadership abilities. As a leader, Jack Ma appreciates and practices intellectual stimulation in his business. This questions preconceptions and existing structures. Jack Ma's ability to combine old Chinese leadership traditions and Western entrepreneurialism in the building of China's greatest e-commerce platform demonstrates his affinity to intellectual stimulation and idealized influence. Jack Ma's ability to communicate his vision to his staff and employee, causing them to internalize and make the goal of realizing his vision a dream come true, is another way is another way to apply transformational leadership to Jack Ma. The last component of the transformational leadership model, the 4I transformational leadership model, is inspirational motivation. And Jack Ma exemplified this method by inspiring his staff and the Chinese people by spearheading a commercial revolution that disrupted the status quo with the foundation of Alibaba. Um, Jack Ma was able to merge the old Chinese way of socialism with with Western entrepreneurialism, which aided in the creation of Chinese hypercapitalism. Thank you. Our next presenter is Jafan.
Hello. About Jack Ma's direction leadership series vision. These leaders readily solicit feedback and input from their subordinates. They encourage discussion and participation in decision making. Democratic leadership still allows everyone to engage, and debate is encouraged, while this procedure emphasizes growth in quality and free exchange of ideas. The democratic leader remains in place to provide leadership and control. Thank you. The next is also.
Yeah, thank you, Jafan. Jackman leadership approach can be assigned to a variety of style, which democratic is a major part of, and it can be exemplified by its embrace of individual views. It does not believe in supervision. Instead, it encourages and empowers people to strive in their own creativity. It emphasizes on how important it is to get the right people for job. It goes as far as employing people with higher qualification than him. And as a former teacher, he believes that a teacher always hopes that their students get better than they are. He wants his people to be better than him. And this example of democratic leader portrayed by Jackman. Next, Deep will take it off from there.
Global international leader Ratan Tata. Over here, we will cover his biography, theory of leadership, and the application of the leadership. Ratan Tata is an Indian industrialist, philanthropist, former chairman of Tata and Sons. His major achievements: the financial success of Tata Group to the New York Stock Exchange and expanding Tata Group to the global brand. The highest civilian award in India are the Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan, and he is a recipient of other awards as well. Ratan Tata was born on December 28, 1937, in the western part of the India. In 1962, he graduated in architecture with structure engineering from the United States of America. In 1962, he was appointed as shop floor of the Tata Steel division. In 1971, he was appointed as Director General for Nelco, but which was a failure. In 1975, he joined the Harvard Business School, to do his advanced management program. In 1977, he moved to Empress Meals, which was again a failure. In 1991, he was appointed as the chairman of the Tata Group of companies, and in 2012, he resigned from that post.
To discuss Ratan Tata's leadership approaches, we start with trait theory. Trait theory has an underlying belief that the leaders are born and not made. It is one of the great man theories, and it proposes that a leader is defined by specific inborn innate qualities or attributes. like personality traits, physical traits, intelligence traits, etc. It focuses only on the leader and neglects the follower. Here we are going to discuss 5 leadership traits like intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability of Ratan Tata. First trait we are going to discuss is his integrity. Ratan Tata believes in conducting business fairly with honesty and transparency. Trust, values, and commitment come before profits for Tata Group. This can be clearly backed up with an example from one of his collaboration with NTT Docomo. When NTT Docomo came to India to have a collaboration with Ratan Tata, he made a lot of promises. But when Docomo was going to leave the company because of the low performances, then the chairman who was the chairman of the Tata Group then was not ready to fulfill all these promises. But Ratan Tata involved in this matter, and he made sure that all these promises were kept. This shows a best. This is the best example to show the integrity of Ratan Tata. The second trait that we're going to discuss is his determination. It was only because of his hard work and determination that Ratan Tata could grow Tata Group from just an Indian brand to a global brand. The journey of Tata Motors from the failure of Tata Indica and Tata Nano from its during its initial times to the acquisition of Jaguar and Land Rover was only because of his determination. Today in India, every Indian household has at least one Tata product at their home. Ratan Tata was a man of intelligence. He knew how to grow his business. He believed in investing in different companies so his investment is always safe. And he was also a sociable person. He was expert in handling human relations. He's an expert in bringing all the officers of his company together and inspires them to be a better version and inspires them to work with unity and direction. According to Jaguar campaign, he included Tata Group CEO's concept of community philanthropy and in the workplace as an evidence of Tata Group's steadfast commitment to its social services. To explain his self-confidence, I would like to quote one of his sentences. I don't believe in taking right decisions. I take decisions and then make them right. This sentence is clearly an evidence that shows his self-confidence. He believed in taking risks. He brought many changes to the Tata Group and Tata Group of companies that was never thought of in the initial stages by its previous owners. And with all these new things and improvisations, Tata Group is now a global brand. Ratan Tata clearly shows several other traits of leadership as well, such as which are listed here in this slide, like humility, a man with a positive attitude, risk taker, etc. Now I hand it over to Chatai to discuss his charismatic leadership approach of Ratan Tata.
Thank you, Anushri. The next theory is about charismatic leadership theory. In his definition, Weber relates this charisma to superhuman and exceptional powers. And as this theory has something to do with the affirmation born to be a leader, it has similarities with great man theory. So charismatic leadership theory can connect the person to great man theory. Also, description of this theory includes features of transformational leadership. Thus, this is a very specific type of transformational leadership. So next slide is about the development of this theory. The early theory, it covers rather the behaviors of the leader, and so under this theory there are specific charismatic effects: the follower trust, which is an unquestioned acceptance by the followers, a desire to influence, sound moral values, strong role model, and inspiring motives. The later theory is rather about the followers, and it says that the leader transforms followers' self-concepts and helps them gain a sense of confidence and self-efficacy. The recent theory is about more on followers again, so it's rather covers appealing to follower values, communication in symbolic ways, and displaying emotional conviction and passion for the mission. So, as Yukel states, this is how they are used depends to some extent on the leadership situation. When we come to the application of this charismatic leadership on Ratan Tata, we see first the desire to influence. He has influenced many entrepreneurs, including the young ones. In one of his interviews, Alan Rosling, former CEO of Tata Group, admitted that Ratan Tata has had a huge influence on him. And he added that he helped young people with radical new ideas. Rosling also underlines that Ratan Tata has inspired him with his sense of purpose and values and his knack of thinking about issues entirely differently. Sattar adds to this argument and says that Tata has had an eminent quality to inspire and motivate people in order to get the job done effectively and efficiently. As Correa suggests and goes further, he says that a charismatic leader should have extensive set of skills in today's business environment. And Ratan Tata is the person who has many kind of skills, including motivation and encouraging good relationships. Now I give the floor to Deep.
Now we will see a comparative analysis between both the leaders using managerial greed. Managerial greed falls under behavioral approach. The behavioral approach places an emphasis on the actions and behavior of the leader. These are the 5 components of managerial greed. First, improvised management. Second, task management. Third, country club. Fourth, middle of the road. And fifth, team management. Managerial greed model. On the y-axis, there is the concern for the people. On the x-axis, it is concern for the results. Country club, where the leader is most concerned about the people and less concerned about the result. Improvised management, where the leader is least concerned about the people as well as least concerned about the productivity. Authoritative compliance, where the leader is more concerned about the results and less concerned about the people. Team management, where leader is concerned about the people and concerned about the results as well. Middle of the road management, over here the leader is concerned about the people and concerned about the result as well. On the managerial grid, Ratan Tata and Jack Ma both stands at team management 99. Jack Ma said companies are divided into 2 sections. One richer, second poor. The richer section has got huge marketing cost and specialized information channel, whereas small business have got nothing to do. So they have got the internet and they can do most of it. Ratan Tata had a vision for India that each and every house should have a 4-wheeler car, which was achieved by Tata Group of Motors, and they created the Tata Nano, which was very affordable and it was in the price of 2-wheeler. Now Tata will give the conclusion.
Thank you, Deep. So overall, in conclusion, leaders all around the world have demonstrated many similar and distinct leadership styles over the years, like Jack Ma and Ratan Tata, as we have covered. And as said earlier, with reference to Yukel and Gardner, these leadership styles are used to some extent in each leadership situation and the context in order to ensure that he or she leads herself and others down paths to success. To wrap up, every leader has one goal, which is effective leadership. Thank you for listening to us.